What's up, YouTube? Today we're going to talk about the 10 most common problems I see agency owners facing when they're trying to scale their agency, right? And I meet a lot of them. I have my own coaching service on the side, but it's just crazy. It's often the same things that come in over and over again. Here I actually have them outlined. And I'm pretty sure that when we get through this video, you'll have 3 or 4 different problems that you could say, yes, that's definitely a problem in our agency as well. But what's really cool about this video is I will give you a lot of insights on the consequences and also the solutions you should be implementing for this. So it's a longer video. Strap in for this. It's going to be good. And by the way, if you love any of this stuff or you're like, man, how do I actually overcome it? I need someone to help. You can always click the link below and you can book a call with me and we can see if it makes sense to work together. Anyway, let's dive in. So first problem, this is definitely going to be like easy for you to look at as like something that's true to you, because not enough leads is by far the biggest thing that I see, over and over when I jump on calls with potential clients. Like, there's just not enough leads and you don't have a reliable way. And this is a big thing. You're like, oh, there was some agency that helped us with cold email and it worked for a month, but then it stopped. And then we had a really good month on Twitter and then it didn't work. So you need a reliable system here. And if you're stuck and you have client churn and so on, like, you might break even when it comes to clients. You lose one and you get one, you're never going to get anywhere, right? The solution here is obviously not just going to be a 5-minute solution. And I've talked about my marketing mix, which I used for Purple Fire to scale to 350 calls a month. You know how I think about organic content, how I'm using it actively, how I'm spending a tremendous amount of time making sure that I post everything on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, podcasting, and so forth. So this is really important. I also have an active setting process and a passive setting process. And this is really key because if you're running ads to these different platforms, or you're spending a lot of time writing content and lead magnets and so on, you want to engage with people that take the first step towards working with you. Like, for example, they're commenting on your post or they're reacting to a post that you did. You want to start a conversation with them. So we have active and passive setting processes, and we have a whole system for that, right? And that's, for another video. You can watch it on my YouTube. I can literally show you a full breakdown. Just go watch that video. It's further up the list. But what I want to show you as well is obviously implementing the marketing system is going to help you. You will see consistent cost per calls. You will see really that you're able to grow your business. So that's number one. That's how you do that. You need a marketing system. And the marketing system is organic and paid at the same time. If you only use ads, it's not going to work as well because you're going to have a trust issue. And that's actually number 5 in our list, is a lack of social proof and credibility. But let's go to number 2, because this is a big one: high no-show rates and unqualified meetings. So I don't know if that's true to you. Have you ever jumped on a call where you feel like, the client or potential prospect is sitting like this, tell me what you can do, or why should I work with you, or they're late or they're not showing up at all? High no-show-up rates make you look like a fool. You're wasting your time, and you will never get a salesperson to join you if you're constantly dealing with no-shows and so on. Plus, a sales team want to have hungry and warm clients, right? Most gurus out there say that you need to send in 10 text messages and an SMS at 32 minutes before. That's the trick, right? But most of the work, 80% of it, is actually done in the framing of that potential prospect. What content have they been exposed to when they booked the meeting, right? What was the VSL about? What was the ad about? What content did you send them afterwards? What did you show in the thank you video, right? Do you even have a thank you video on your page? You might not even have that. And also, are you booking calls 3-4 weeks in advance? Like, no one's going to remember what they booked, 4 weeks in advance. They will not show up to the call, basically, right? They lost the motivation even if they see it in the calendar. So we have this 15-step no-show system, and we also work with the qualification, the framing, the motivation, and literally we have the Purple Fire system to back everything up. So when we do that for our clients, we just show what we do ourselves, basically, right? And sometimes I get these funny questions like, if it's so profitable, why are you, showing it off, and why are you mentoring agencies? Honestly, I love teaching, and everyone that wants to copy me, they can already copy me, and they are copying me. So like, I don't think I'm losing anything here, honestly. It's a win-win situation for me that I get to work with agencies, learn from them, they get to learn from me, and I get to do something I love as well. Now, low closing percentage is definitely a big thing as well. You don't have a system. You're just kind of winging it on the calls, and that prevents you from scaling because basically you're not able to acquire the amount of clients that you need. Even if you have high churn, if you're also closing a lot of clients, you might still be able to grow, right? So this is why having a proper sales system works. The pitch deck system is the one we use at Purple Fire, and this is literally what I'm showing you right here. It's actually showing the most common problems, having the client identify exactly what problems they're dealing with, and then showing with trust and credibility how you overcome, how you're able to achieve that for yourself and for other clients and so forth. So the pitch deck method is really, really powerful, and we use that all the time, and I help implement that for other agency owners as well. Now, number 4 is you're too involved in operations. You might be working 60-hour weeks. Maybe you should raise your hand here, because most agency owners, they work way too much. They're involved in the day-to-day all the time, and just constantly dealing with fires, and you're stuck and you're overwhelmed. And when you're trying to work day-to-day, you're doing 16 things at once, and that leads to not getting anything done at all, honestly. Being too involved in daily operations is literally cancer for your business and for yourself. And I've been there, honestly. It's something where we have to keep reminding ourselves all the time. And it's about spending the right time and hiring the right people, right? So we implement systems where we know exactly when to hire people and how to attract the right people, but also creating the right systems. Systems is really key here. And there's all this talk about AI. I think this is probably the best use of AI right now. It's how to automate, how to set up systems so that you don't have to do all the nitty-gritty work because it's being automated. So this is something we have people full-time working on automations and AI in our agency, because it's literally worth the cost of having a few people doing that. So you need to set that up. Number 5 is a lack of social proof and credibility. So do you have a LinkedIn? Do you have a YouTube channel with 20,000 followers? Honestly, you need to have social proof to make it here, because there's too much competition. And if you are just some nobody writing a cold email script, sending 1,000 emails out, they will Google you and they will research who you are. And if nothing good comes up, they're not going to work with you. There's just too much out there. There's too many competitors. So, I spend a tremendous amount of that, and I actually set that up for all my clients. And if they don't have it, I help them find systems with ghostwriters and so forth to make sure that content is getting written. Because if you don't do it, literally, you're just not going to be able to grow because no client will want to work with you. And it helps solve a lot of things. It helps you with this, number 1. It helps you with number 2. It helps you with number 3. And it also helps you with a lot of other things, inconsistent income in number 10 down here, right? So it's a lot. Spend times on the wrong things. You might be like, oh, I need to, do this Google sheet, and I need to go into the Google ads of this client and help out. That's how you are stuck. That's why you're not growing, right? So we use a framework for that, which is built towards what 7 and 8 figure business owners and agency owners are doing, what they're spending their time on and what they're not. And I know it sounds crazy, but I will refuse to go in and talk to a client, even though I could do it. But it's because I cannot scale. I cannot work on my business if I'm building personal relationships with clients. And I'm not saying that's the right choice if you're at 100K. I don't think it is. You still need to be involved. But at $500,000 a month, you shouldn't be in the trenches working with clients and small things. You should be strategic. You should be doing the things that actually scale your business. So we identify where you are, and we make sure that you get on the right path there. Now, you might be also with a limited belief on what's possible. So if you're with a limited belief, you're never going to grow, because you're like, oh, my limit is 50K a month. Or maybe you believe that you're not really good enough to help clients, solve their problems. And you still have this imposter syndrome. And I think we've all been there, and I was there myself. It's what really holds us back. your reality is completely made up of your mindset. And if you believe you can get to 200K, you're probably going to get there. But if you believe you can only get to 50K, that's probably going to be your reality. So having yourself open up on that mindset, that's such a big shift. And I think there's no real way to get around that other than talking to people that have already done 7 and 8 figures and helping you to realize that it is possible, right? And to be honest with you, it gets easier with your limited mindset when everything else is running really well. People are showing up for the calls. You're seeing you get tons of new calls. You can see that you're not overloaded anymore because you have good people, you have good systems. You start to think, oh my God, I am a 7-figure agency owner and I know what I'm doing, and that helps. So this one is a mix of coaching and revamping your inner beliefs, but it's also solving all the other issues. It's going to help you, with your limited belief. And now number 8 is too much client churn. Obviously, a lot of agency owners come to us and say, man, we're churning too many clients and they're not sticking around. And to be honest with you, that's really powerful. It hurts your team in the biggest way possible. They're burning out your team, especially when you have a team like me that is, counting 70 plus. It's really, you want to make sure that they're not going to burn out. And if they every day it's just dealing with clients leaving, then you're just not going to be able to grow your business. So definitely you want to fix the churn. We have an anti-churn system at Purple Fire with 100 different things we do in order to avoid it. But I can tell you one of the biggest things about churn is client misalignment, basically not being on the same page with what the client is expecting, not creating plans ahead of time, not being result focused, but basically not giving the client anything to measure you by. That is going to be a big root cause for churn. And we help make sure that all our clients, our agency owners, they're basically setting things up correctly in terms of having proper quarterly sprints set up ahead of time, revenue goals, whatever it might be. And also making sure that they're not giving these vague plans and vague goals, because, a client only cares about results in the end. They hire you for the results. They stick with you for the result, but also for the relationship. So we help you in creating SOPs for how your team should be focusing on getting the clients to like you and your team, your product managers, account managers, because a mediocre result can be enough to retain a client if the relationship is really, really powerful. So creating that emotional connection between the people interacting with the clients and the client itself is absolutely key as well. Number 9 is not hiring in time to find the right people. A lot of agency owners are just taking on way too much time to just do things themselves when they should actually be hiring and firing themselves. We have really good hiring systems, and we also know how to attract top talent, which is something we actually do through LinkedIn as well. So this is something you can look forward to as well. Now, the last thing is inconsistent income with big fluctuations. So honestly, that's probably a lot of agency owners. One month you're doing 50K, another month you're doing 70 or 80 or 100K. And that inconsistency prevents you from hiring, spending money on marketing, forecasting growth, and all these other things. And honestly, it's just tough. It creates a lot of stress in your daily life, and very impossible to sell your business if you're looking for that one day. You need to have consistency, because then you can forecast, you can allocate the right money to ads, to hiring, and to really do the things that you need in order to hypergrow, right? And all the best agencies, they have some fluctuations, but it's never more than a specific percentage. And that means that they can really allocate budget ahead of time. And that's how you get big scale, because you can be way more aggressive with your marketing and all these other things. So anyway, guys, these were the top 10 things I see whenever I jump on calls and coach agency owners that want to grow. If you feel like, man, number 1 or whatever, like all 10 are true. If you see any of these are true at all, I can definitely help you. What I'm doing right now is I am helping through a mentorship program where you have Slack access to me, you have a growth plan tailored to you, you have a 50-hour course which I just base all my learnings from Purple Fire on. So if you want that, you can click the link below and you can buy direct access, or you can schedule a discovery call with me and we can talk about whether it makes sense to work together on scaling your business and overcoming any of these 10 problems or anything else you have on your mind. So anyway, that's it for now. Talk soon.